Tonight we're going to talk about working with your feminine energy. And apparently, feminine energy has been suppressed and repressed for so long on this planet that it takes forever to understand what is it, how does it look like, and that it's not anything physical. It's not bubble baths or a woman that look amazing, but it's an energy that is inside all of us, regardless of gender or sexual orientation. And it's the energy of creation. It's Shakti, Kundalini, Chi, life force, whatever we want to call it. And think how clever the whole ploy has been. And naturally, like on a higher level, we have done this to ourselves to invent the original sin story and interpret it in a literal way and banish feminine energy so we can exist only in the masculine for that long. And at one point, which is this point right now, is to wake up and ascend by integrating both energies together. And we go through those cycles with feminine energy ruling and then masculine energy ruling and then the two uniting, because that's a game we're playing on the earth plane, so there's no blame on anyone. But since now we're in the cycle of the feminine energy rising in all of us, a little more obvious in women, um, let's talk about it. What does it mean? How can you integrate your feminine energy? How can you use it? Because it's much needed. Think of it, when we're operating only on the basis of the mind and the heart is closed off and we don't know how to deal with our emotions, there are these mental patterns and mental games people play. And that's why there are all these videos on dating advice and men are like this and women are like this and this whole like profiling and categorizing, because we're relying on the mind to create a structure of reality that we can feel somewhat safe to exist in. And as soon as we encounter something, we want to put it in a category. Oh, this person is rich, this person is poor, oh, this person is a man, this person is a woman. If you're a man, you're supposed to act like this and have those characteristics and do these certain things. If you're a woman, you're supposed to have these characteristics and do these certain things. And if you are a certain age, then this is appropriate and right. And uh, if you're from a certain nationality, then this is appropriate and right. So we have created these mind tracks and mind rules to contain things. And anything that is a deviation is considered dangerous and bad and strange and bizarre, because people don't know how to deal with it. When we cannot categorize somebody, or if a person falls into a couple of categories, and it's like, well, wait, how can you be this and this and this? It doesn't make sense. Oh, why doesn't it make sense? Just because we need to oversimplify, and it's like, okay, you are this. So it's really interesting. Think about it, and you will see how that plays out so much in society. But with feminine energy rising, we're realizing the infinite possibilities, and these mind tracks that we've been confining ourselves like in are beginning to feel really like tight and constricting. And we're like, wait a minute. There are these roads, but there's all this space between the roads, and there's so many other possibilities. And we can venture out, and we don't have to be in those boxes, and we don't have to go from one box to the other, and then feel like the person that has been in all these boxes, but none of them are resonating, and something is wrong with us. But it's like, no, we can just continue to expand. And let's imagine it more like a playground. And the people over here are playing this certain game, and the game entails believing in those things, and those are the rules. And you can go and play with them for a little bit and get acquainted with the rules and the game that they're playing. And you can decide, do I want to play this game? How long do I want to play this game? And at one point, when you get bored, you can leave that with all good feelings. Like, we played together for a little bit. It was fun, it was interesting. And now I want to go and play something else with somebody else. And then you can go and explore somebody else's play. And in this way, we can explore different religions, different spiritual practices, uh, different skills, different creative talents. And from all of these, from playing over here and playing over there and playing over there, we can learn and grow, and we can decide, okay, I like this, this, and this, but not this, this, and that. And instead of telling the kids your game is wrong, you could be like, you know what, I'm kind of done playing this game anymore. I'm done with these rules, so I'm just gonna go and play somebody with somebody else somewhere else. And then at one point, you can also invent your own game and have other kids join you at the playground. And when we realize that, feminine energy is to be guided by our emotional system and what feels good, we could be like, okay, this sounds interesting. I'll play this game for a little bit. And the moment that it stops being interesting, or like the kids are rude or something like that, you have a choice and you can go somewhere else. And there are other opportunities. And even if there are no other kids you want to play with, there's the whole playground and you can create your own game. And that's something that people have forgotten, that feminine energy is our creative energy, it's our life force. It's always birthing new possibilities and options. And when we remember that, we don't have to stay stuck anymore. We don't have to stay stuck in a job that we have outgrown, a relationship that we have outgrown, an old version of ourselves that we have outgrown. But we can constantly keep expanding and learning and growing and experimenting and exploring. And that's what makes life worth living and makes it like a huge adventure and makes it feel alive. And if you find kids on the playground that you love playing with and you're having a lot of fun, you can stay there and keep playing that game for the rest of your life. And have other kids join you for a little bit, bring their experience, maybe enrich the game a little bit, and then leave. But if at one point you feel, you know what, this game has been a lot of fun, but I kind of want to explore something entirely new. And it's okay to leave with gratitude and go and explore something completely different. Let's say you've been a lawyer your whole life, and then all of a sudden you decide, I want to be a painter. And I'm pretty sure there's an example like that. I don't remember who the artist is, but there are examples like that where people seem to make this sudden switch. And also, there's no limitations that you need to be one thing. You can be a lawyer and a painter, and something else, and something else. And instead of limiting ourselves anymore in this, like, you're either this or that, you can have this or that. It's either this or whatever. It's like it could be and. And it could be whatever you want it to be. There are no rules except the ones that you invent. And when you play with other kids, if their rules at one point seem too constricting, again, you can always leave the game and create your own based on the things that you like from all the games that you have played. And this is the integration of feminine energy, and also it requires a lot of emotional maturity. Uh, so when we leave the game, we can leave with gratitude on our side and the side of the other kids that we have played together. And now that we want to leave and those rules are a little constricting for us anymore and we want to explore something new, it doesn't mean that it invalidates everything that we've experienced or the game is bad. If they want to keep playing it, good. It's just that I want something else. And nobody should feel insecure or invalidate the experience, but it's like we can be emotionally mature enough to realize that people come and go, change is inevitable, and we can part with good feelings. And if somebody comes in our game and introduces something new and then they leave because they're like, you know what, I've played more interesting games, then we could, either hate on them or be like, I wonder what other games are out there, and leave and explore too. Or if we're too afraid to explore, admit it to ourselves that, wow, this person is really courageous, having to go through the unknown to join another game or to create their own. But I don't have the guts for that. I'm gonna be lonely walking through the unknown. I don't know if the next game I'll encounter in the playground is gonna be one that I like or not. So I'm gonna choose safety, and to realize that all of these things are choices, and it's not better or worse. It's how alive you feel. And if you don't feel alive anymore with the thing that you're doing, it means that maybe you need a change. And to follow those feelings of, oh, where do I get the most joy from? What makes me feel the most alive? What makes me feel excited? Or even, if you're staying in the same game, how can I change that game up a little bit? How can we change it collectively a little bit so it's more fun for us? And let's say now, collectively as a society, instead of talking about doom and gloom and sad stories, let's share, what is something beautiful you saw today? What is something beautiful you felt? Is there a song that made you feel good? Or did you watch something that made you feel good? Did you see something that made you experience a good feeling on the inside? And that's another part with feminine energy, is that when we're only in masculine energy and those rules, there's somebody up on top determining the rules, and then we all have to comply without questioning. Whereas with feminine energy, it's more based on the feeling. And your feelings are never wrong, and nobody can make your feelings right or wrong. And if you're feeling a certain way, that's how you're feeling. And it's honest, and it's true, and it's authentic. And we have natural wisdom based on our experiences and how we've processed them. And our natural wisdom and our authentic experience and feeling becomes the authority. And everybody becomes their own authority and governing entity. And we can learn and share with one another and learn from each other. But ultimately, everyone is their own authority, and everybody needs to follow their own emotional guidance system to what's right for them. And that's the beauty, that, everybody can create a very unique life for themselves. And we can share with one another and enrich in the same way we share recipes. We share useful things that we have found out. And it's this beautiful enrichment, which leads to even more expansion. And the game that we play can constantly be renewed with a new recipe, with a new ritual, with a new flower we plant in our garden, with a different routine. Uh, and there's more of this energy of flow and connection to spirit, following your soul, and making a life as art, and making art and using that energy, using Shakti to constantly find new possibilities, instead of being stuck. That's a problem, there's no solution. Knowing that you have the energy of infinite intelligence and possibility running through your body, and all you have to do is to tap into that current and trust it will give you the perfect solution that is aligned with you and with your resources, capabilities, um, perfect for your situation. And what works for one person is not going to be the same thing that works for a different person. And we can be inspired by one another and the things that we create and the ways that we do things. But we're not copying them or saying my way is the only way. But there's this room for exploration, experimentation, and you can take a little bit of something useful from here and a little bit of something useful from there, and really make it your own. I like your own garden, your own artwork, and go back and change things and go forward and invent new things. And that's where it really gets interesting, is that we can download the future, and we can feel it into existence by imagining that future vividly and being excited about it and really devoting some time for visualization, for imagination, for intuiting like what feels good, what sounds good, what would I like to experience next, how can my vision evolve and be created. And that's where it gets like really interesting, because with the feminine energy we also realize that past, present, and future are one. And there is not like that linearity that masculine energy imposes, but things are like way more connected and expanded. And we can tap into past life wisdom. We can tap into our future lives, like wisdom, which they're all existing simultaneously at the same time in different timelines. And based on our energetic frequency, we get different downloads and energetics, and we can align ourselves to different things. And that's, a little bit more advanced. But if we take feminine energy further, this is really like how we can use it to the best of our advantage and explore possibilities. And if you're a creative person, when you're faced with a decision, you can imagine, okay, if I do this, how will that feel? And if I do this, how will that feel? And let's say, for example, you have job offers, or you have to pick between two or three different things, or go to vacation in different places. And if you tap into your intuitive wisdom, you can imagine the one scenario and see what feeling it gives you. And you can imagine the other scenario and see what feeling it gives you. And based on the feeling and what feels more like right and gives you the sense of peace, make that choice. And even on the outside, the other choice seems better. Later on, you realize that this was the right choice for you. And that is also the energy that we can use to tap into our psychic powers, and uh, where we get premonitions from. Let's say, for example, you're supposed to be on a certain flight and you get a dream that the flight crashes, and you decide, you know what, I'm going to listen to my dream and I'm not going to go. And then it ends up happening, and you realize, oh wow, my intuition really gave me a sign. So that's kind of like a little bit of a brief overview of feminine energy, what it is, and where you can find it. It's inside of yourself. It's just been deeply suppressed. But the more you listen to your intuition, use your imagination, develop emotional intelligence, really sit with uncomfortable feelings and unpack them, and just allow yourself to feel. And that's how you develop and reintegrate it. And I know a lot of men are looking for women to connect to their feminine energy through a woman. Uh, but the time has come that everybody needs to develop it on the inside. And that's how we become whole. So instead of feeling like you're lacking love and lacking all of these things and you're constantly seeking them on the outside, begin to develop them within. Sit with yourself, with your emotions, uh, hear your intuition. You need to be still, and the more time you spend by yourself, with yourself in nature, the more you remember and tap into that energy, and allow it to guide you and help you and assist you and expand you and evolve you. And it's really beautiful. Hopefully, more people keep tapping into it and coming into wholeness and operating from this balanced energetic state. Thank you all for joining in.